Hello everybody, I'm Andy Stanton and I write the Mr. Gum stories. Have you read them? They're terrible, they're tremendous. Now, I'm here today to talk to you about editing your stories. Editing is a really important part of writing. That's when you get to change your story and go through it all and make all the bits that aren't working too well work really well, and you make all the bits that are quite good even better. So you're polishing up your story. And I like to think about it in this way, which is that when you write a story, your first draft, that's the first version you write, that's like a rusty old car. And then when you edit, you go back and you tune it up and you polish all the metalwork and you make the engine really sing. And that's where you really bring your story to life and you turn an old banger into a flash super sports car that will impress all the ladies or guys. Here's one of my most important tips on editing. When you write your first draft, try not to edit too heavily as you go along. That's not the time for editing. You edit later, and I'll tell you the reason why. Imagine if you're trying to write a story and you get so obsessed with just polishing one scene or one little bit. It's like a sculptor making a big statue and they just try and polish this foot and, oh, I'm making the most beautiful lady's foot in the world. Oh, this foot's going to be perfect. Oh, this toe, this go. And then you build the rest of the statue and you see you weren't even making a statue of a beautiful lady. You're making a statue of a horse or an elephant. You see, you don't know which bits you need to polish until you've finished the first draft. Oh my goodness, watch out, because here comes another incredible tip about editing. Kill your darlings. Kill your darlings means going back through your story, and even if there's a bit of writing that you really like, you think is really exciting or really funny or just really beautiful in some way, you have to get rid of it if it doesn't work for the whole story. For example, when I was writing my third book, Mr. Gum and the Goblins, I had this whole section where all the heroes went through this tunneled out mountain and they saw all this crazy stuff. They saw glittering jewels and they saw a giant ape who was reading a newspaper from the future. I thought it was hilarious. It was one of my favourite bits of writing I ever did. But when I came to edit, I saw that it had no place in the story. It was just getting in the way of things. Had to go. That was me crossing it out. Okay, here's something else. You don't have to be in a hurry to edit what you've just written. You don't have to finish your first draft and then turn to page 1 and start going through it with a tooth comb. Put it away for a couple of weeks. I always put what I've written away for at least 2 weeks, maybe longer, and then I go off and do something else. Go and play football if you're a boy, or go and play football with some ponies or something if you're a girl. And then when you come back to your story after a couple of weeks, you can look at it with fresh eyes, and then you can really see what you need to do to it to make it better. It's just like letting it bake in the oven of your mind for a bit. Overall, when you're editing, be really bold. Don't be afraid to experiment. Make the scary bits really scary. Make the funny bits even more bizarre and absurd and crazy. Make the emotional scenes really, really emotional. And if you do try something when you're editing, something really crazy, something really out there, and it doesn't work, no problem. So long as you kept the original version, you can always go back to that. Remember, your work as an author isn't over once you've written the end. In fact, your work has only just begun. Good luck!